hello. Welcome to race 6, Miami Grand Prix. And Oscar Piastri does what we call a flawless victory. Man, outlapped both Austin Martins. Incredible stuff. Anyway, let's start things off with the sprint. An important thing that I need to talk about is the shockwave that is Kimi Antonelli. Now, granted, Oscar won the race, but if you've been watching this, if you've been listening to this, you know I'm a huge fan of Lando and Kimi Antonelli. Now, I was very ecstatic when Kimi finished in pole position for the sprint. So I was like, wow, little dude's about to do it. 16-year-old Kimi Antonelli got in pole position for the sprint, stunning the whole fucking grid, stunning the world, basically. He lined up ahead of McLaren's Oscar Piastri, and, he was ahead of him. Setting the tone, he was brilliant. But sprint start, race drama takes center stage. Lando Norris ends up winning the damn race. But of course, Piastri led the race after overtaking Antonelli in the first lap, I think, of that sprint race. And of course, Hamilton did a great gamble in the sprint. He did well. He finished in third place, getting some crucial points for him. Of course, that late safety car when Fernando Alonso crashed pretty much caused a few people some points, but McLaren finished 1-2 also with with Piastri leading. With Lando leading in the sprint. And of course, Verstappen had a nightmare of a weekend. As it continued, he had a pit lane collision, which earned Antonelli a 10-second penalty when he collided with Antonelli in that, which dropped him to 17th in those sprinting race. And of course, our Leclerc weekend started horribly due to heavy rain that sent him crashing before the sprint even started. But post-pole penalties, Albon, Lawson, Berman all got a 5-second penalties, which shaked up the standings for the whole thing. But of course, on race day, final day on Sunday, McLaren total dominance. As I said in the beginning, Oscar with a flawless victory. He finished them all. Wow indeed. Both McLarens getting that 1-2. Of course, this time with Oscar ahead. I think that's his third victory for the Australian, making him the first Australian to win back-to-back 1-2-3 victories. So the McLarens are having a great time. And of course, at the start of the season, I think everyone's money was on Lando winning this whole thing altogether. But we'll see how things pan out as the race continues with everything going on forward. We'll see how things pan out. And of course, Lando did get back-to-back podiums with this race. He finished second after a whole issue with him getting off the track in that first lap. And of course, speaking of the first lap, there was a collision, there was a crash. We're talking about, is it Haja or who was it? Haja finished the race. Jack Doohan finished or crashed out in the first lap after colliding with Lawson. Lawson, of course, ended up retiring as well. So Berman also had an engine issue. He got out. And of course, the interesting thing here, besides talking about Verstappen, who was leading the race throughout early on, ended up dropping to fourth, and then a huge, phenomenal gap for the McLarens, almost 30-something seconds plus on Russell, who finished third place, putting him yet again in podium. He's been under the radar throughout the season. And of course, Carlos Sainz got fifth for Williams, which was very nice for him. and of course ahead of the Ferraris. Bear in mind, this guy was tossed by Ferrari for Hamilton, and he's doing better than him right now in that race. And of course, Kimi Antonelli continues to shine. He secured a 6th place finish with Albon holding off the pressure of 7th, and of course Charles Leclerc and Hamilton all getting those following positions. Of course, Ocon and Tsunoda finished everything up. So both that 6th being Leclerc and Hamilton, and of course Albon finishing 7th, Ocon 8th, I think. Who's the other? I'm missing somebody here. Albon finished 7th. Leclerc and Hamilton finished 6th, 7th. I'm confusing it. All I know is they are in that top spot position, so I don't know what else going on. Anyway, of course, I think I'm having a network issue here. I don't know what's going on. My OBS just connected and reconnected, so hopefully that will not be an issue with the stream. And of course, with the review, that's, like I already said, that's a straight 3rd win for Piastri, who's having an untouchable season. Verstappen off the pace again, dropping from pole position. And of course, we have to acknowledge Yuki, who finished 10th. He had that 5-second penalty for sprinting on the pit, but he managed to stay there and prevent Hajar from getting through and stealing that position from him. So great job, both Red Bulls getting the point. So which means a move for Kimi was a great decision. I mean, a move for Yuki, rather. Why am I confusing people's names? I don't know. A move for Yuki to Red Bull was a good move, because Red Bull is finally putting points on the board, which will help Red Bull in the Constructors Cup. But of course, they're struggling on that end as well. We all know McLaren is in control, cruise control, with Mercedes and Red Bull all up their backs. Of course, as for the race, a driver's battle, Piastri still leads, Norris, Verstappen, and Russell, and of course Sainz getting in that, trying to put himself in a good, valid position. And of course, let me read you the whole thing again. I think I was making a few mistakes. I don't know why. Piastri finished 1st, Norris 2nd, Russell 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Albon 5th, Antonelli 6th, Leclerc 7th, Hamilton 8th, Sainz 9th, and Yuki taking the last spot of points with 10. Of course, bear in mind, Sainz has an issue with could be reviewed. He might drop out of that position, or depending on how many, if he gets found guilty for having a issue, but seems like that's not going to be issue. Of course, Law got out, Duhan, Berman, and Bortonelli all just all couldn't finish the race. And of course, Hulkenberg, Albon, and Stroll were all out-lapped during the race. So great stuff. So that's it for now. The question now becomes, where are we going next? Let me check that real quick. Give me a sec. I need to remind myself where the next race is. So it should take me about a second to find out where that is. Shouldn't be taking me this long. Right, race 7, we are in... What the fuck? We are in Italy. Italy. I cannot read. Emily Rogmagen? Yeah, whatever. We're in Rome. That's all that matters. Whatever. Race 7, May 16th to May 18th. Anyway, Assalamu alaikum. Thanks for watching. McLaren delivering a beauty, non-stop action, dominance that will forever be spoken about. Will Verstappen respond? I don't know. Can Antonelli keep rising? Will he end up winning a race this season? Will he win one, or will he get podium this season? Or is it all up for him to dominate or show his power, his ability next season? We cannot wait to see and cannot wait to find out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember to hit that like and sub button. Now that was entertaining. Please let us hang out yet another time. Remember to like and subscribe.